Salute, Knicks Nation. The New York Knicks road trip on the West Coast has come to an end in Denver as the New York Knicks lost tonight, 100-113, off a huge performance from Nikola Jokic. But for the New York Knicks, Isaiah Hartenstein gets his Knick high and career high, and he balled out tonight, as well as a lot of Knicks fought. This was a close game for most of the game. Only towards the end were the Denver Nuggets finally able to shake off these resilient, gritty New York Knicks as they finish this West Coast trip 3-1, a successful West Coast trip, right? As we regroup, we get back to the East Coast, a couple games at MSG, which is going to be great, right? But this was a tough one at altitude, despite having 2 days rest coming in. The New York Knicks would have been tired, heading into this one. Obviously, the fourth game away from home, and we get back to New York City, and a lot to look forward to. Unfortunately, though, tonight the Orlando Magic picked up a win, so they'll temporarily go into the fourth seed, as the New York Knicks will pick up this loss, and they'll go 41-28 on the season, right? But this one was a battle. The New York Knicks pulled within 2 points halfway through the fourth quarter. Alec Burks gave the New York Knicks a big spark tonight, finally showed up in a big moment, despite also turning it over a bit as well. The New York Knicks just ran out of gas in this one. Credit to Denver, they out-executed us late. They got a lot of the 50-50 balls. They got a couple of questionable calls as well, I think, as the New York Knicks had to fight through physicality in this one. We didn't get great offensive production from some of the starters, but the bench helped enormously. Isaiah Hartenstein with a huge performance again, scoring, rebounding, dishing, swishing, all of that. Jalen Brunson had a Knick high also with assists as well. He finished with 9 assists and 26 points. Michael Porter Jr., though, with 31 points and a couple of back-breaking threes late, really hurt the New York Knicks. We got 6 steals, beat the Nuggets, I think, in the physicality and the defensive aspect of that part of the game. But rebounding, the Denver Nuggets absolutely killed the Knicks 50-37, which normally isn't the case. Obviously they got Jokic, Aaron Gordon, a big lineup, right? The Knicks went small once again. Deuce McBride got the start, and I thought he played well. Not as good as, obviously, against Golden State with his career high, but he did himself really solid tonight. Gave us good production, defense. And like I said, the Knicks really were in this one all the way till about, 3 to 2 minutes to go, right? So really proud of the Knicks fight. I wasn't expecting to win this one, obviously. We were playing with house money. But nonetheless, it was good to see your guys perform tonight. Isaiah, Jalen Brunson continues to play really, really well. One of the best stretches of his career, if not the best stretch of his career. So let's anoint this West Coast trip a huge success, despite the loss tonight. We'll talk a little bit about OG Anunoby, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson. Of course, these Knicks are going to return and give the Knicks so much more strength, right, from the starting lineup down to the to the final spots on the bench. The Knicks are going to get more depth, and that's going to help us a lot. With 13 games remain, fam, as I pull up a statistic, the Knicks can still get to 50 wins if we go 9-4 after tonight's loss. Of course, we're half a game in out of fourth now. We're in the 5th spot as the Orlando Magic picked up a big win at home against the Pels tonight. Unfortunately, Brandon Ingram really hurt himself as well, so prayers up to Brandon Ingram. I was rooting, for the Pelicans to get this one. I thought the Pelicans would win, because they have been the better team heading in, fam. But, we can't rely on other teams to always do us a solid. The New York Knicks just got to win out, fam, and we're going to talk about that later tonight in the road ahead, guys. Salute. We've got Brooklyn, and then we've got the Detroit Pistons, both at MSG. And then we head to the 6 in Toronto, really winnable game. And then we head to Texas against the Spurs, really winnable game. And then we finish the month of March in at home to Oklahoma as well. But yeah, man, what do you guys think about Isaiah Hartenstein? He's going to get flowers tonight. He's going to get a few badges, and give out the grades with me. But remember, smash that like button. The Knicks streets are buzzing. We are still 13 games above 500, and a chance to get to the 50 win total, which would be momentous, for the first time in 1 decade, for us to get that 50 wins. It would really help us go a long way to get the third seed, possibly the fourth or the third. And we'll talk about that. We know the third seed does avoid Boston, in that second round, which is critical. But look, I've said this a lot of times, guys. I'm at the point where we just got to get to game one of the first round series healthy. And I think we've got to get through round by round. But let's win out. Let's take care of some of these really winnable games. I think the Knicks showed me on this West Coast trip, they made a believer out of me in terms of they can continue to win, short-handed. They did answer a lot of questions heading into this West Coast trip. How gritty, how resilient could they be, man? And embodied by a career high from this man, the big man, Isaiah Hartenstein, really stepped up this entire West Coast trip, not just tonight, right? And it was kind of brewing. He's going to get the warrior icon because he continues to battle and win a lot of his matchups. He's not playing at 100%, but tonight he's playing against the former MVP and arguably one of the best players, if not the best player in the league right now. He can kill you in so many ways. But yeah, Hartenstein, to have his career high, against his former teammate, which was huge. He's got the stack there. He's going to get paid, and that's a talking point. I know you guys, and we've talked about a little bit. Give me your thoughts on terms of extending Isaiah Hartenstein, how important he is to this team, etc. He's also going to unlock the efficiency badge as well, because he was on target tonight. He was swishing and scoring efficiently like he normally does around the bucket, but he put up 20 points tonight on 10 of 8 from the field. Also 8 rebounds, 3 were offensive, and 20 points with 2 blocks, a steal, and 3 assists tonight. He's going to get the A. If we win tonight, he would have definitely taken a game ball home with him, fam, because we're short-handed still. And the Nuggets had a lot of depth. They were full strength, of course. Like Michael Porter Jr. hit those shots like Daniel saying in the chat. Shout out, buzzer beater. Appreciate you guys coming through the building. Daryl's in the building. Short-handed versus the champs. You said it. And they struggle. They struggle to really put us away. The belief is there with the Knicks. You could just see them continue to fight no matter how short-handed we are. And I'm really impressed with this West Coast trip. And Mitch is, on the verge of returning. We'll talk a little bit about that now that we're talking about Isaiah, because, that's really going to factor in. Now, with the minutes, Isaiah played 26, so he is still, on that restriction. Who knows if we'll see it really go up a lot from there. I think for the remainder of the regular season, I think he'll probably be at that 26 to 28 kind of minute range. What would you prefer to see? Let me know in the comment section in the chat. I think it's cool to keep him healthy more than anything, right? We're going to win our fair share of games, to close this season out, and we'll finish somewhere between 47, 8, 9, or 50 wins, somewhere around there. The best thing is heading in healthy, right? And as long as Isaiah can continue to give us this production on, the 26 to 28 minutes, I think that's great. Now, in terms of Mitchell Robinson, the news is he has fully practiced, so full contact. But with that said, Tom Thibodeau also alluded to the fact that he is going to expect Mitchell Robinson to have to practice, multiple times, and take that contact, just to show that, hey, we know you can take contact now, but we also saw what we saw with OG. You might feel great, you might do 1 or 2 practices, but then you play in a real game, and then you get hit, and then you might start to feel a little bit of discomfort or pain as well. So I think the Knicks have learnt that lesson. They want to be ultra, committed. Once Mitch is coming back and playing, that he can stay playing, and not have to miss any more time. But with that said, it's still very, very positive. I'm hyped. I'm excited for Mitchell Robinson's return. I think he will probably return within a week or so. I think a couple more practices, all going well. He probably won't play in the next game against Brooklyn, possibly against Detroit. Perfect game to come back against Detroit. Or if not, maybe Toronto or Texas, San Antonio. Maybe at some point in the next 4 games, I think Mitch will probably be back. And I've talked a little bit about it with Buzzer Beater in the comment section about Mitch alluding to the fact that he's preferring or comfortable coming off the bench. That surprised some people. It also made some people feel like it was inevitable because Mitch's usage is going to be a little lower once returning. Obviously, he's been out for a long time, so he's got to work up those reps. He's got to shake off the rust first, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Bigs are a whole different thing, especially when you're 7'1", and you're going to take contact. You're battling. We know Mitch has fallen on his ankles a few times as well. When you leave your feet and you come back down as well. So yeah, I think I'm confident we're gonna approach it the right way. We're gonna allow Mitch to ease his way back. And look, I have no preference, honestly, in terms of who starts out of the 2 big men. I think Isaiah, as we see tonight, guys, he's fully deserving of continuing to start because he's been doing it for so long now, and we're winning. Also in the playoffs, if it's a specific matchup, he might close it with Mitch. If IHart needs to sit a game, of course Mitch will step in. But I guess in an ideal world, I would prefer them to split the minutes right down the middle, 24-24, or maybe one guy's playing a little bit higher level, 20 minutes, and the other guy 28, something like that. But I don't expect it to be huge in discrepancy. I think Isaiah will continue around the 24 to 28. Mitch will fill in the rest, fam. Precious Achiuwa, who we'll talk about in a minute, might suffer a little bit of minutes reduction, but he can play the 4, of course, which is great, guys. So yeah, Buzzabita says Chewy did an excellent job on Jokic too. Yep, shout out to him. We'll talk about Precious. And also Michael Porter Jr., 81% from the floor. Yeah, he had a hot night, tonight. The Knicks were a little slow on some of those closeouts, fam. So shooter's touch with him. He's 6'10", so yeah, you can, if you're a good shooter as well, when you're 6'10" like KD, you can find your rhythm real quick as well. LB so wavy salute. I don't know why Mitch even said that on Twitter. That was the most low confidence stuff I heard all year on this team. I had no issue with it. I mean, like I said, some people don't understand how difficult it is to come back from a significant injury like that. I think he's maybe just wanting to lower some expectations, but I understand the fan base wants these guys to feel and show that they're confident. And I don't think it really has a lot to do with confidence. I think it was just he knows what his body is going to be capable of. It's been a huge rehabilitation period. And let's not forget, guys, that the Knicks once upon a time applied for the disabled player exception in expectation that Mitch was not going to come back. That's how serious the injury was at the beginning. And when you've had a screw or a plate inserted in your leg, and you're running up and down, it's difficult, right? But yeah, would I have loved Mitch to say, yeah, I'm coming back to take the starting spot, and I'm gonna give it my all, and I'm gonna try to play 39 minutes. Yeah, we'd love to see that confidence, but yeah, I just think he's trying to be realistic, that he knows his body ain't the same. And it's a sad sight, but I mean, yeah, he's 7'1", 7 feet. He's dealt with multiple leg injuries before as well, and we know that can hurt people's confidence, a little bit as well. But yeah, that's why we've got Precious. That's why we've still got Isaiah. We've got Sims. I'm confident, man. We've got enough to step up. In Mitch playing limited minutes, if that's the case. But who knows? He might surprise us. The play's awesome, and he takes the starting spot as well. Maybe Tibbs has had a word with him as well. We know Tibbs wants to keep his train rolling as well. The limited disruptions. We're winning right now. Isaiah's playing well. Just keep it as is, I think. Realistically, if Mitch came back with 30 games to play, that would have been a different story. He could really have enough time to work his way back, and to look like the Mitch of old. But look, realistically, he ain't even coming back in the next game or two, most likely. And there's only going to be like 10 games left. That's a lot. That's a short period of time to step it up, for the playoffs as well, at the highest intensity, as well. So yeah, let's win out these next couple, right? And really get close to that 50 wins. But also, we need to take that 4th spot back from Orlando tonight. They continue to win. And Orlando are serious. They're one of my teams that I feel like will push us all the way, towards the end for the 4th seed. I don't think we're going to shake them off, like in terms of 2, 3, 4 games. I think it's going to be tight, fam. They will continue to win. They've got a decent schedule. They've got really good depth with Paolo, Franz Wagner as well, Jalen Suggs playing at a great level, Wendell Carter as well, Fultz, Cole Anthony, Joe Ingles as well. I mean, they're stacked. They're pretty deep, and they're fully healthy. Anthony Black's there as well. So yeah, I expect the Magic to continue to win. That's going to be interesting. I'm not going to lie. If they end up finishing 4th and we end up finishing 5th, and we lose home court because of the losses to the Magic earlier in the season, that is going to sting. No doubt about it. But fate is in our hands, and we need to start winning more games and take care of business. Right? We'll look at the road ahead coming up, fam. But let's talk about the next man. Now that we've given the flowers to Isaiah for his career high. And it's been culminating up to this point. Shout out, 8 of 10, 3 assists, 2 blocks, a steal, 20 points. Unfortunately, he was a minus 15 tonight. We know because of the matchup with the one and only, man, the Joker tonight. I don't always get to watch the Nuggets, and the Joker, so it was impressive to see him, for the full game, and play so hard, against a warrior like Isaiah, Precious. He pushed us, man. But he also, we defended him really well, like you guys are saying. Precious played really well on him, physical, did everything they needed to do. It just didn't, it wasn't enough, right? He's a triple threat, man. He can pass, score, and he can shoot. He can shoot as well. You got to respect his shot, too. So let's talk about Brunson. The captain's up next, right? And then we'll talk about Deuce, who got his 2nd start. But Brunny, man, what a West Coast trip, man. Averaging 40 points coming in. Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Another successful West Coast trip period for the captain. He's taken his play to another level, as we talked about. And he's really garnering all-NBA conversations now. Brunny was 11 of 23. Fairly efficient. 2 of 7, though, from deep. So they did a good job guarding him on the perimeter and making him drive tonight. He didn't get a whole lot of separation. We know Jamal Murray has a little bit more height and was able to make things a little bit more difficult shooting for Brunson. But look at that. Look at the free throws, guys. 3 free throw attempts for Brunson. The officials were poor tonight once again, allowing physical play, really super physical. the play had him furious to close the half, fam. You might remember we tweeted the video out. If you haven't seen it yet, check out at Knicks Buzz on Twitter. But KCP fouled the man. Brunson got separation on the drive, went for for his up and under, and that's when KCP basically slapped him on the forearm. No call. 2 seconds left in the half, and we went down at the half, which was tough because we fought and we played a pretty solid quarter. We went down 56-61, down 5 at the half, and we were still in it. But I knew we were going to have to really have a hot third. We're going to have to get hot tonight to beat the Nuggets, right? But yeah, back to the officials. Pathetic tonight. I thought Tibbs had to use challenges that didn't really require a challenge, especially the Deuce McBride when he drew the charge on Jamal Murray. I mean, they were just getting home cooking tonight, were the Nugs. Deuce McBride, man, it was a textbook charge that he drew. Right, it was, you could see it in real time, live. There was no need to challenge that, but the New York Knicks won that challenge because the refs were bugging. 3 free throws for Brunson is pathetic, man. The guy should be at least averaging 10 free throws a game. He gets fouled that many times. So the refs, the new age NBA, still coming to grips with it. It's affecting Brunson, and especially in the playoffs. I'm a little worried about how much they're going to let go, because Brunson does need to get those foul calls on the drives. He's 6'1", 6'2", at best, right? And when they're allowed to be extra physical and basically hit him, it's going to be tough in the playoffs, especially playing against the Heats of the world, the Magics, and things like that. But 9 assists tonight, of course. Brunson, he was diamond, finding the teammates unselfishly. He was adjusting to the coverage tonight. He was really starting well. Had 6 assists in the first quarter, really, which was beautiful. 8 points, 6 assists in the first quarter, though finished with 9. Had to take over a little bit more. But what was good was Brunson was able to sit a little bit more, fam. 34 minutes tonight, so that was good. The bench production did help us out a little bit more tonight and gave Brunson that rest, fam. But 26 points, minus 20, was a mixed bag. Obviously, the Nuggets are, the reigning champs in their building at altitude, and of course on the final game of the West Coast trip. But yeah, man, nothing but respect for Brunson. He's a warrior. He's been balling out to the heights of his career. What do you guys think for the grade tonight, right? Give me a grade. We shout it out. And of course, replay squad, let me know if you agree, disagree. Brunson, really, really solid. I'm pulling up the grade now. He battled, fought physicality, continues to play like that all-star. And on this West Coast trip, right? His Knick legacy, starting from the top, he's reached, a lot of heights in his Knick career in such a short period of time. But yeah, as I said, the West Coast trip has taken his play to another level, beating, the likes of Steph Curry, the Warriors, beating De'Aaron Fox in Sacramento as well. I'll give Brunson an A- for his game tonight. He's a warrior. He'll get the icon. He's playing like a All-NBA as well, All-Star. He gets the Gold Star for me as well. 3-point shooting wasn't great tonight, as I said. They were using length, of course. Michael Porter Jr., 6'10", KCP, Jamal Murray, fam, Aaron Gordon. One of the longest teams in the league when you think about starting five, fam. I mean, when your small forward is 6'10", and Aaron Gordon, who's already 6'10" himself at the 4 spot, that's tough. Yeah, absolutely, man. So wavy. The ratio between the foul calls was heavily with the Nuggets tonight. Yeah, yeah. I just feel proud. I don't feel upset tonight. I don't really feel. I mean, I feel more upset at the officiating. I don't feel angry or upset in terms of the play, the players. They gave it all they had tonight. I mean, we're going up against, the reigning champs, but man, would I love to see this matchup in, an NBA Finals preview would be spectacular with Julius Randle back, Mitch, OG Anunoby. We would give this team all that they can handle and some, and that lets you know how close we're getting, how close we are to competing for a championship. Best believe that, because tonight we're playing Denver on their home turf, home floor. Yeah, and basically we didn't look out of place in any moment of the game. They executed late. They got the little 50-50 balls. If there was one play that killed us was that jump ball, fam. Again, I think it was a bad call from the officials, but that jump ball just killed it tonight. They got the tip. Or we basically got the tip. We tipped it back, I think, and it was a scramble play. Jamal Murray ended up with the basketball, got a running head start on Brunson, or Deuce it was, I think. Ran it all the way up the sideline, man. I would have just given him one and knocked him out of bounds on that one, man. It was obvious what he was trying to do, which was just to pile the pressure on and get fouled at the rack. I think Deuce or whoever was doing that should have given him a little bit of a push out of bounds just to stop the break. But that killed us. I think it was only a 6 or 4 point game at that point. It was 6. And then they got the and one, which pushed it back up 9. And that really killed us, man. As well as the turnovers late. Alec Burks giveth, Alec Burks taketh tonight, as well as Bogey to Josh Hart. We'll talk about him in a minute. Yeah, he seemed to be fairly gassed tonight, as well as Devo. And, Burks was playing decent, so I get that they were riding Burks a little bit. But, yeah, man, Burks' decision-making is probably the worst thing about his game right now. It ain't even his J. It ain't even his, lost a step. His decision-making was never great, even when he was in his prime. He's a herky-jerky kind of player. But when Alec Burks is turning the ball over, ill-advised shots, it can kill the momentum, fam. He's one of those players where he's just an enigma. When he's popping the J and he's shooting the 3 ball, you usually go on and ride the wave to a victory. But, when he's bricking, hitting the side of the backboard, just throwing the ball away, you scratch your head. You think, man, like, Alec Burks is a veteran. Yeah, he's been in this league about 15 years or so. Sometimes he plays like he's a rookie, in terms of decision making. Yeah, as well as Bogey. Too. I think that what killed us was the run the Nuggets had as soon as the Pistons boys touched the court when Bogey, that interception, we were down 12. Yeah, that was a killer turnover as well. Agree. Bogey, another situation where, he needs to play better in terms of taking care of the rock first. That's the number one rule as a veteran. You should know that you got to keep a hold of the ball. Players shoot badly on night to night, but you on the road, taking care of the rock is critical, as well as taking good shots. Now they both had bright spots too. I think Bogey hitting that deep 3, brought it back from 9 to 6. But like I said before, man, as you guys know, they giveth and then they taketh. So you got to be quick hook with their minutes. This was Tom Thibodeau's time to shine and push the right buttons, pull the right strings, and make things happen. But all in all, man, to only be down 5 at the half, I thought it was a really close to flawless first half outside of that close in the second. But I mean, hey, man, we should have only been down 2 or 3. Brunson got fouled. Yeah, and it's just tough when you're playing a physical team that's good, and you're battling the referees as well. And that you generally becomes too much of a uphill battle. you know. So yeah, I can't wait to get back home and get some home cooking as well as these guys, man. I know they'll be busting to get back to the Mecca and face some easier opponents now, fam, with Detroit and of course Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? Right, we're coming. Uh, we're going to look at some results. Last time I saw Brooklyn was up tonight. I don't know if they ended up pulling out the victory. Hopefully they did, because that would be great. And we'll peep that in a minute. But obviously, again, Orlando won. That's the main thing. We're battling Orlando for that 4th seed. I'm not worried about any other team below us. I'm looking up. I'm looking up at the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are dealing with injuries as well and all of that. But the next man up, as I said, Deuce McBride got his 2nd start. It was no surprise. I was hyped. I was really looking forward to seeing Deuce get loose again and show the world what he's all about. Played a solid game, I felt. We'll look at the numbers now. But great to see him get another opportunity. I'm glad, that Tibbs stuck with it. Of course, how could he not? I mean, he lit Steph Curry up and the Golden State Warriors. Shooting well, coming in. He was 4 of 9 tonight, was the Deuce. Also, the crowd was shouting out Deuce. Credit to the Knicks visiting, or the home Knicks fans. Deuce was 1 of 5, though, from 3. So, again, another guy who, like Brunson coming in, has been shooting well, but just couldn't find their rhythm tonight. 2 of 2 from the line. Once again, I felt Deuce should have got more free throw attempts. 2 free throw attempts is not fair, because he was getting fouled and they were overly physical, and he should have got more free throws. So our 2 lead backcourt players tonight, our lead guards, weren't getting the foul calls. 3 assists tonight from Deuce, solid. 11 points as well. Just 2 fouls, a block and a steal. And 3 rebounds, just a -11 in his 44 minutes tonight. Right, young bull getting after it, playing the largest minutes of the night, right? So having said that, man, what do you guys think? 4 of 9 from the field, but inefficient from 3. But, man, played his behind off tonight, did Deuce McBride. And he will continue to start. I think OG won't be back in the next game. Actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe OG will come back the next game. He'll probably be questionable. But there's a good chance he won't come back as well. So if not, yeah, Deuce, I think, will continue to get that spot. And he's been playing well at MSG, of course. So yeah, we're going to need him to shoot well, and hopefully we blow out Brooklyn and Detroit. Jay Terrence, what's good? What's going on with Dante's shooting and defense lately? Let's talk about Dante in a minute. But yeah, off the top of my head, man, I think he's a little bit gassed. He's been playing a lot. But yeah, he plays super aggressive defensively. He does gamble. He's a little undersized as well sometimes for those matchups, and yeah, the 3 ball wasn't on tonight as well. So yeah, he had a great game against his former team, the Warriors. And I think, yeah, Devo is probably playing a little bit of minutes, a lot of minutes than he's been used to. This is the time of the season where things start to catch up with guys. So hopefully we do keep that in mind, man, and keep guys fresh for the first round. I think that's going to be really key. Buzzer Beater says Burks and Bogey need not play more than 5 minutes unless they are really hot. I think that's ideal, but I think probably something like 5 minutes a half is probably quite realistic. I think, a couple minutes to end the first, to start the second, and then that's it. And then maybe a couple minutes to end the third and start the fourth. But yeah, really, really quick hook. Like you said, if they start turning it over, man, it's back to the bench. And look, yeah, Deuce is really young. I think he's capable of playing high minutes 44, 48, not ideal, but 39, 40. I think Deuce can do that. I think he's really, really fit. He's young. Hey man, playoffs. He could be the X factor. Could Deuce McBride coming in. So, with his performance tonight, let's give him his flowers. Let me see. So the shooting, yeah, he was a little inefficient, but picked up some pivotal steals, some plays as well. So he's going to get this, and he's got the new contract. He's been balling out, so unfortunately wasn't on target from the shooting, but Deuce Miles McBride, solid performance. He'll get a B for my grade tonight. Right, he gets the warrior icon. Fights, physical battles. Should have got more free throws, like I said. Unfairly, refereed tonight. Got his new contract now. A little underpaid, the way he's been playing. I mean, really, really great move for Leon Rose, man, and the foresight to give this man the extension right after quickly got traded, knowing that Deuce McBride is capable of playing like this, and also knowing that he was going to start to play more minutes as well. So, yeah, if we never gave Deuce that extension, man, the price tag, yesterday's price, would not have been today's price. So, all in all, man, super excited for Deuce's future with the club. And obviously the playoffs is going to be big. We're going to need him to defend multiple positions. We're going to need him to shoot the three ball like he has been this season. And I think we're a really, really tough out, man. I mean, a lot of teams don't account for a guy like Deuce McBride, like the Nuggets tonight, but also the Warriors. They paid the price too. So, yeah. Yeah, but 5 minutes per season for Burks and Bogey, man. I feel you on that. Frustrating as it is, man. What's up, Dre, in the building? Jay Terrence says, damn, the Nuggets was there to be had tonight. Yep. They weren't really playing that great. Yeah, I mean, if we had OG or we had Randall, yeah, I think we pull this one out the way we're playing. What's up, Will? Salute. I was in the house. Effort was there. Hard to beat. Champs under man. Appreciate you for coming through. Let us know anything else that you saw. Man, what a night from Isaiah Hartenstein. Let us know, did he look kind of like he's playing at 90%, 100%? Do you feel like he's playing still at 80%? If he can give us a little bit more as well with bigger minutes, that's going to be big as well. But yeah, Will was in the building tonight. Also, yeah, these guys only get to play, in Denver once a year. So, you got to be really ready. And I think this is one of those years where we had the best chance of winning in Denver. We had a 2-day break before tonight's game, fam, as well. So I was confident. We were coming in tonight playing well. I just thought it would depend on how well we shut, the Joker down. And we did a really solid job, just not enough. I mean, that's the story of a lot of, a lot of people, right? So we've hit on Deuce, Isaiah, and JB. We've got DiVincenzo and Josh Hart to talk about, man. Since Jay was mentioning Devo, let's touch on Devo next, right? DiVincenzo coming into the Rockies tonight. How did he do? DiVincenzo was 4 of 11, 3 of 8 though from deep, 37.5%. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals and a block, 11 points, minus 17. Yeah, he did get caught, as we said earlier, man, gambling on D, but that's his game, and he's been playing that way all season. But Devo tonight, mainly the scoring wasn't there. Not bad from 3, but we needed more aggression. We needed more production offensively. I felt from a guy like Devo to beat the Nuggets. But look, as I said earlier, I think he's been playing a lot of basketball. I think he's reaching that point in the season where the fatigue is really starting to show a bit more. Remember, he helped carry us when Brunson was out. He had to play those 40-minute games. He's had to run around a lot on offense and defense, as well, especially on this road trip, guarding the likes of, Curry's, of course, the Foxes and all of that. He's been running around. So, yeah, Devo, we need a little bit more from you. But I think heading back to MSG, he'll find his groove, I think. But look, 3 of 8. He was one of the better Knicks tonight, man. From 3, not efficient from the field, but from 3, the threat is always there. Fam. King Third Eye gives Devo a C minus. Salute. Buzzer says Deuce is better than tonight. Yeah, we know what he's capable of doing, and I think again, playing up in minutes is big, but don't forget, guys, this is at altitude, tonight, so it really does test you, right? No excuses, but it's the toughest place to play in. If you ask a lot of NBA pros, man, some pros just lose it, in these kind of games because they're clutching for oxygen, and breathing out there as well. If you notice, man, Denver like to try to play fast as well, and try to put the away teams away early. But man, did we show a lot of fight tonight. So yeah, my grade for Devo coming up. Trying to see if he's going to earn anything else. Let's see. I'll keep it at that, man. And I'm going to give Devo a C+. C+ for tonight, man. 38% from 3, but 11 points. Could have given us a little bit more, but look, Brunson had the rock a lot. Playing with Deuce as well as another ball-handling guard. I think Devo's usage has gone down a little bit with Deuce out there. We weren't playing with the 3-guard lineups. Prior to Deuce coming in, it was Josh Hart at the 3, OG as well. So, but yeah, man, he'll pick it up. He's been great for us this season, but yeah, we need a little bit more than 11 points from him to beat, elite basketball teams, fam. And then next man up, keep the grades coming. Josh Hart up next. Frustrating night from Hart. Did pass up quite a few shots. Did try to run off the line and make other plays and etc. Played hard. Just didn't have it going tonight. Will says Isaiah was all there tonight. Joker was going half effort most of the night until late. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, man. Great to hear that insight. Thanks again. Appreciate you. And on TV, it definitely looked like Joker wasn't, going all in, early in the game. Also, we did catch a little bit of a break. I thought Joker was fouled a few times, but they let it go, which is good. They let Precious get a little physical. Isaiah, be a little bit more physical, which was good for us. But yeah, I knew they were going to start calling it, tighter down the stretch. As we kind of, they did also make a note that, Mike Malone, that the New York Knicks did beat the Nuggets earlier in the season. And what a statement victory that was. And, we knew that they were going to try to, to come back and get some kind of revenge on us, fam. But, look, Isaiah is a huge key as we hit on, man. He got the A tonight. If he can play 38 minutes, that's a game changer for me, right? You see the difference when he's off the bench. He's back on the bench, from the 26 minutes he played. In games like this, man, it's really close, man. You can't afford lapses. They go on a 9-0 run when Isaiah's off the floor, 7-0 run, with Burks and Bogey Bricken playing with Jericho Sims. Yeah, it's tough. Some of these clubs can go on big runs. We need to not be so erratic with the bench units as well, and that's going to be really good when Precious and Mitch, are backing up, off the bench as well, with Randall and Isaiah and OG in the starting lineup as well. So let's talk about Josh Hart. His grade, fam. Buzzer, man, nothing's up with Clyde. He's cool. Clyde just doesn't travel on the West Coast, so yeah, he's getting older as we know. And Clyde, yeah, a couple years ago he stopped traveling on the West Coast trip. So yeah, he likes to stay on the East Coast. He'll do the Atlanta game because he's got property in Georgia. And he'll maybe go to Philly. He might go to Washington. He'll do those short trips. But yeah, he won't fly all the way out, man, to Cali, and to Colorado, etc. Things like that. So yeah, Clyde is all cool. But yeah, Josh tonight. Josh was up and down, man. 1 of 5, 35 minutes. Missed 2 3-pointers, 3 boards, 4 fouls, 2 points, minus 21. 1 assist as well, man. I think he was the Nick that was feeling it the most out of the minutes, The guy who played 48 minutes the other night, and we were singing his praises. No surprise that, the play comes back down. I think we're asking a lot, of a guy to play 48 minutes and then back that up in Colorado at altitude. But yeah, there's no sugarcoating it. Josh just was not good tonight. And yeah, he'll get some rest, and he'll bounce back like he always does. I mean, he's capable of triple doubles like we've been seeing. But tonight he was poor tonight, so I've got to give Josh. I mean, yeah, he wasn't even really at his usual self, right? 3 rebounds, taking that into consideration, 1 assist, minus 21 as well, man. I'm trying to be kind. I'm trying to find reasons to be a little more kind to Josh. Obviously coming off some triple doubles. He's had a great West Coast trip, but I mean, I can't give Josh anything more than a D+ tonight, man. What do you guys think? Will says Devo's block on Eric Gordon was sorry, not Eric Gordon, Aaron Gordon, fam. Yep, Aaron Gordon. Yeah, the block was great. Yep, that was DiVincenzo's gambling that paid off in that instance. But yeah, he does gamble a little too much sometimes too. I was about to go C-, as Buzzer Beater's gone with the C-. He's afraid to shoot. Wasn't getting those 50-50s tonight. Yep. D was mid. Yeah, not a lot to disagree there, man. I agree. The 50-50 balls was something where, yeah, when you're a little bit short of gas, you're a step slow as well. You notice the rebounding. Not all of that was on Hart. I think, as I said before, man, starting small forward for the Nuggets, man, is 6'9", 6'10". Power forward, Aaron Gordon, 6'10". And then, of course, the Joker, who's 7 feet. Even KCP, the shooting guard, yeah, for them is 6'5", 6'6". So, yeah, man, it was tough on the glass tonight for Hart. He couldn't, Denver are one team where you're not going to out-muscle, out-body them. You're not going to punk them, basically, like Hart can do, man. But yeah, he's a huge part of our successful West Coast trip. So the D+ is just for tonight. Hart was amazing. A+ the other night. hopefully we get a little bit more of that, rather than tonight. And I think we will. I think he'll bounce back, fam. As now, that was the starting unit. We'll talk a little bit about the bench now and look at the road ahead. We've got Alec Burks in our sights, fam. Alec Burks. I'm going to say his best game is a Nick. How good it was, is up for debate. Whether it was great or not is up for debate, because he did giveth and then he taketh. And I want to hear your thoughts about Burks' best game as a Nick, quote unquote. Burks was 5 of 11 in 20 minutes, 3 of 6 from deep, 50%. He also got to the free throw line more than anybody. Let that sink in the words of my man Ron Cleveland. 5 of 7 from the free throw line. So I don't know what it took to get foul calls over Jalen Brunson, etc. But Burks was a little lucky getting some of those calls, whereas I thought Brunson deserved at least 10 free throws tonight. But look, I appreciate Burks being aggressive. You get those free throws. They're easy points. Although he should have capitalized a bit more. 5 of 7, 5 rebounds, 18 points on a +4. Right, so he was one of the only New York Knicks tonight in the plus. He was 3 turnovers though, as well, which is not good at all. 3 turnovers in 20 minutes is really difficult because we need steady play when Brunson is not on the court. We really need a steady hand, and Burks is erratic. Right, there can be nights where he can shoot well, like tonight. But when he's erratic with the ball, that can kind of really hurt you and allow the Nuggets to go on a big run like they did. But nonetheless, it's good to see some shots fall for Alec Burks. He's had a really poor, difficult start to his Knick second career. It's been too long. We've been waiting for a really good offensive game. Obviously, 50% from 3 on 6 attempts is good. He was one of the reasons we did stick around in the game. One of the reasons we did need, Brunson to sit a little bit more because Burks was hitting some shots. But again, you've got to be really quick with the hook. Like we joked before, how many minutes should he play, man? 5 minutes a game, 10 minutes, whatever it is. You need to be quick with, with the hook. If the play is stumbling and bumbling. The 3 turnovers was poor. Was really at poor times of the game as well. But look, the shot making was there tonight. He was making quicker decisions. He was aggressive, getting to the cup as well. Now, I'm not really swayed by a performance like tonight. Like, this doesn't make me want to play Alec Burks any more or any less specifically. I think where he's at is, the 10 to 12, 15 minutes max. We're heading close to the playoffs now, and I don't think Burks' minutes is going to, stick at 20. I think it's going to drop. Yeah, you summed it up perfectly, you buzzer beater, man. Great minds think alike. And you say Burks took 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's basically what he is at this point of his career. I think he's better at the 2 guard, I will say that. He might miss having Deuce play next to him a little bit more, because I like Deuce with the ball, Burks off ball. When Burks is on ball a lot more, that's when you get those turnovers, fam. You get those kind of plays where they strip him. What about that play where Jamal Murray, man, just stole his cookies? Fortunately, we got the ball back, I think, due to a helter-skelter play. But yeah, Burks stripped him, got the interception, and then got stripped the other way. So yeah, man, he's a tough thing to crack with Alec Burks. But yeah, I think keep his minutes around the 10 to 15, maybe a couple 6 minutes a half. Split the minutes. Obviously, you get you always should have Burks. So you should always have Deuce or Brunson on the court, I think, at any time in the game. I think that is critical. If you're going to decide to play Deuce McBride with Jalen Brunson more, I do feel like you still need to split them on the court so that Deuce is always there when Brunson's not there. Because it's a lot of trust, to give this man, right? So, with that said and all, and the grades, consideration, I'm going to give Alec Burks a B minus. I was thinking C plus B minus, similar to DiVincenzo's performance. But yeah, I just think Burks, he hit shots at timely points in the game, but then he also hurt us. That one when he just threw the ball up, man. He obviously felt contact, and I kind of understand how given the officiating was, but you can't just throw the ball up like that, man, off balance. And then another shot, he just straight hit the backboard, man. He hit the side of the backboard, I mean, as well. So, I mean, really underwhelmed with Burks' stint with the Knicks so far, but tonight was a little bit closer to a step in the right direction. Man, he's just got to hit those shots. If he's not hitting the shots, then nothing else, a part of his game is worth keeping him out there as well, because his defense isn't really good. Now, I will say, I've heard people make the point that, Mitch returning and playing alongside Burks on the bench is going to help, the bench's defense a lot more. Obviously, if if Burks and Bogey are getting blown by, it helps to have a Mitchell Robinson back there, patrolling the paint, guarding the rim. So that could give those guys a little bit more confidence, I think. So, yeah, that one too, where he did turn the ball over, as Buzzer Beater said, he dribbled the ball off the leg, went under the basket out of bounds too. That was crazy, that one as well. So, yeah, it's hard to feel great about the game tonight with Burks, because there was parts of the game where I'm like, yeah, man, you're helping us, you're hitting those threes. And then part of me was like, man, next guy up, So, yeah, Jekyll and Hyde, basically. Now let's hit on the next man, who's a little bit of the Jekyll and Hyde variety as well. That is Bojan Bogdanovic tonight. And then we'll hit on Precious, so we can finish on a little bit more of a positive. I know Jericho Sims got a little bit of minutes tonight, but not a lot to talk about with Jericho, with very, very spotty minutes. But yeah, Bogdanovic tonight. What are your observations, thoughts? Should he play less? Should he play a little bit more? Is he where he needs to be? Tonight he was 14 minutes, 1 of 5, 1 of 2 from 3. Like I said, that only 3 he hit was a really timely 3. We were down 9, I think, and it was a deep 3 in the fourth quarter. It brought it back to 6, which did help us go on a little bit of a run after that when Brunson came back. But outside of that, man, not a lot tonight. Turned the ball over twice. 7 in the plus, 3 points. Plus 7 in 14 minutes does let us know that bench unit was helping us back in the game. But I felt like there's more. He could do more, so much more, because the 2 turnovers hurt, together with the Burks 3 turnovers. So, as you guys know, man, despite how many shots you hit and swish, if you commit 5 turnovers between the two of you, that's 5 wasted possessions, and that's going to be really difficult to hold our own, and make inroads to a deficit or create a lead when Brunson is not on the court. So what do we need from these guys? We need more consistency, right? I don't think they're going to really take over games like some Knicks fans hope they would when we traded for them. At that point, Quentin Grimes wasn't really doing anything more or less either. He wasn't really taking over games as well. So, man, my hope is that they just, I guess they neutralize their minutes. They don't turn the ball over. They be a little more consistent shooting. I think defense, like I said, playing alongside Mitch is really going to help these guys. They are giving you their effort. I think Bogey does fight defensively through those limitations. I think Burks is just a straight limitation defensively. Bogey obviously hit his three, 1 of 2 from deep, but the 2 turnovers really wasn't great. So let's see, man. 13 more games left, and we need to see more from these guys, right? I'm going to give Bogey a C for tonight, right? They weren't some of the worst Knicks, but obviously their minutes are small, and they do need to make maximum impact, in those minutes. As I said, when Brunson is not on the court, it's a really fine margin for error, One thing I'd like Bogey to cut out too is those drives. Sometimes, when he drives to traffic, his handle ain't tight. He's not efficient really driving in traffic. He should keep it to spot up shooting, attack the closeout if they do close out hard on him, then make a play, right? But when there's a straight up defender and then there's defensive help from the other team, that's when Bogey can get stripped, and get into a little bit of traffic as well. So, but look, man, one of their better games in terms of they did help the Knicks get the lead, reduced the Nuggets lead, but yeah, ultimately they just didn't have enough to just push us a little bit more, really, and the starters didn't have it flowing tonight either as well. So let's move along to the Precious Achiuwa train. It's been rolling this season. Precious's minutes have dropped. Hopefully he's a factor towards the playoffs where, he's getting solid minutes. I think 25 tonight was good. Precious was 4 or 5 from the field. Hit his only 3-pointer. That was big as well. The confidence still there, which you love to see. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 9 points, -2. Precious Achiuwa was very solid tonight. He was good. 9 points, 25 minutes, rebounded, assisted, played solid defense on Nikola Jokic. For all the size that he's given up, right? He it's tough to expect Precious to, win that matchup. I mean, hardly anybody can win that matchup, but he did the best to neutralize, I think, the Joker in his minutes, right, as well. He battled, he was physical, right, and he's going to get some flowers. He's been playing well. He's a warrior, so he'll get the warrior icon. I mean, always playing up on from size against guys as well. He also get a gold star. I feel like he's playing a signature type game where he's in the most improved category this season. In Toronto, he was out of the rotation, in and out, hardly playing. To go from that to this is incredible. To play a pivotal role in the Knicks fighting for the 4th seed, the 3rd seed, playing major minutes, is huge. And I think, he should be among the most improved candidates on the season. And he's been battling, man. He's also going to get efficiency. He was on target tonight, right? He hits critical shots. You know what they say, man, pressure makes diamonds as well, man. And that's a pun included for Precious Achiuwa. Pressure makes diamonds. So, hitting his lone 3 ball. Also, he was 4 or 5 from the field, which is huge. One of the things that's most impressed me is his efficiency around the bucket. He looked a little clumsy when he first arrived, and I thought, man, is this like another Nerlens Noel where, you know, he started to fumble a little around the bucket, dropped a couple balls, but he quickly adjusted. You know, after that, after I gotta say the first 2-3 games after the trade, he started to really buckle down and start to produce, as well. So shout out for Precious Achiuwa. What do you guys give? Buzzer beater's gone with the B+ for Chewy. Jokic couldn't score on him. Man, he played a solid game defensively. I got to give it to Precious, man. Like you said, Bogey with the C. I don't think we're going to get a better performance from him. It's been a fairly decent sample size now, man. I think we will get a couple playoff moments with Bogey. As I said, I hope for more consistency. But yeah, we might not really get a lot more from what we've seen. But with this guy, we will get a lot more of these performances because he's been consistent, man. And with that said, I'm going to give him a B+ as well. I agree with you, fam. He gets the Warrior icon and the shooting badge. He was 4 of 5, 1 of 1 from deep. Did he get to the free throw line? I don't think he did. No. Tonight, man, we only shot 17 free throws as a team. So that was crazy. You know, the NBA can deny whatever, has been said, but no doubt the officiating has changed, man. It really has. They're letting a lot more go, really, and I think it's affecting a lot of these players, man. Think about the first 1.5 years with Brunson and the Knicks. How many times did you see him argue with an official in the first 1.5 seasons? And then fast forward to the last 3 months, 2 months even, at least once a game, Jalen Brunson is sitting there like pulling his hair out, literally ready to get into the grill of the referee. And that lets you know, like, Brunson is a calm demeanor, mild-mannered, chill dude. And the fact that tonight, I was hot to close the half in the second quarter. That was an egregious non-call from KCP foul on Brunny, too. So, yeah, these guys are having to adjust a lot, fam. We see a lot of guys get chippy now. Tonight we had another brawl between DeMar DeRozan and Dylan the Villain Brooks. Man, I retweeted that one out if you haven't seen it. That thing got crazy, DeMar DeRozan with the ugly foul on Jalen Green. Dylan Brooks didn't like it, man. The enforcer stepped up. He stepped into DeRozan tonight. But yeah, you see a lot of that stuff happening, fam. What's good, Stanley? Also, he's saying, no question about it, officials are letting other teams beat the crap out of Brunson. Just terrible officiating. 100% agree. 110%. It's going to suck because the playoffs, you can only imagine how much more physical the play is going to get. But on the flip side, all I can say now is that the fact is that the players would have had time to adjust. Right, it ain't going to come as a surprise when the first game of the playoffs hit, and players are getting decapitated. I think we've got the bullies, we've got the guys who can fight through it, the Harts, the Isaiah Harts, the Mitches, the Randalls. Hopefully his shoulder doesn't cop a knock, but the Brunsons of the world. Devos, Achiuwas, the Sims. We've got guys who are used to getting after it. But, the referees, right? Let's jump on that now and give them a grade before we look at the road ahead, fam. As, Buzzer Beater says, the refs are rotten. I keep saying that, it's happened recently, but there's still 13 games remain. And we're in a situation where the guys will get, acclimatized to the extra physicality. But let's call a spade, man. These officials, man, they get the F right? They get the F for the whole West Coast trip. Probably for the last, we could apply the same grade for the last 2 months, man. Remember that game with the free throw discrepancy? I can't remember which game, man. Refresh my memory. Where it was like 15 free throw discrepancy or something like that. I mean, Jalen Brunson is a superstar now, right? First time All-Star, heading towards All NBA. It's time to start officiating him with respect, right? And that call to end the half was despicable. I mean, KCP was like straight chop on the forearm. It was clear as day and nothing, man. And then don't even get me started on the Great Houston robbery, where, an egregious call, like we've talked about at length, where you contest the final heave that never gets called, but they call it on Jalen Brunson. It's ridiculous now, and there's been a lot of talk about gambling, and I'm not here to dispel any of that, fam. I think gambling it's playing a huge factor in this thing, man. I mean, what did you guys think? You heard JB Bickerstaff, the coach of Cleveland, go on record now to say that his family has been getting threats. He's been receiving calls, right, from dudes with parlays, things like that. Officials, there's been documentaries, of course, there's been guys get caught. I think it's affecting the thing big time, because there are so many clear foul calls that just get let go, and then some silly ticky-tack calls just get called. So, it's really, I hope it doesn't continue throughout the playoffs. It's going to probably, though, affect some games. Well, it will affect some playoff games, some outcomes as well. I just hope that we're not on the receiving end of like we were against Houston, man, where we're having to protest. I mean, that was just embarrassing, that game, really. For the Knicks to need to protest, it's like it gives the league a bad rep. It gives us a bad rep as well, having to protest. It just should never get to that. Buzzerbeater says Coach Nick from B-Ball Breakdown said, friend of the channel, said Brunson's free throws have been cut in half since the break. All I could do is shake my head, man. He's correct. Yep. He's correct, man. King Third says, I personally feel like the owners, refs, are anti-New York. 100% agree with that as well, fam. Yep. Yeah, there's that jealousy. We're taking over teams' building. Tonight we had MVP chants, in Denver of all places, man. We had Deuce chants in the building as well. We had Paolo Banchero talk about it in Orlando as well. That got them frustrated too. I mean, it's not our fault that their own fans can't fill their building and our fans fill up their building. You know what I mean? But the other thing I'll end up with saying is that, like tonight, we saw the fight, in the Bulls Houston game. It's not the first time, not the last time we've seen fights, and I think the fights are starting to become more common, as well as the referee complaints. Like Brunson tonight, right? He is getting really, really frustrated with what's happening, and I don't blame him, man. He's getting hacked and whacked. But if I was him, I would continue. Letting my thoughts be known, fam, because hopefully you can influence a future call, right? If you continue to get in the ref's ear, man, and you do it in the right way. But let's move along now towards the standings, because tonight, man, the New York Knicks take the L, so we'll be on 28 losses as I refresh the standings, fam. As I said, now we are in 5th spot. So Orlando win tonight, fam, and they move half a game ahead of the New York Knicks for that race for home court advantage in the round one of the playoffs. The Knicks have got 13 more games. The Orlando Magic have 12 more games as well. So that's a factor worth considering, fam. So they might be ahead of the Knicks by half a game, but if the Knicks win their next game, we'll be level on games played. However, the Orlando Magic will have the tiebreaker as well because they beat us 3 times and we beat them once as well. So that could come back to hurt. But look, 13 games remain, man. We just got to take care of business. Any other movements, man? Look at Philly. Man, Philly all the way down to 8 now. Could the Bulls even catch them, man? The Bulls are 4 games, 4.5 back of Philly. It's going to be tough, but hey, man, Philly are in that play-in spot now. Looks like Embiid is going to be back early April, they said. But how early, I don't know. You know, there's only games until April 11. So he might get back for the final 5 games. You know, maybe 3 games. I mean, he's not going to be at 100% either as well. So that's huge. Look, Indiana as well, as I mentioned before, Benedict Mathurin is out for the season. So the Pacers are not at full strength either as well. You see the PS next to the New York Knicks. That means postseason, baby. The Knicks are qualified for the postseason regardless of playoff or play-in. So that is the first tick of the season. We cannot fall out of the postseason. That's officially clinched. So that's a tick. But hey, let's win 9-4 and get to 50 wins, right? Or better. So let's go through it now, fam. Let's go through to see which could be the 4 losses and the 9 wins as well. Let's go through it, fam. But before we do that, we'll look at some of the games tonight. Anything else that I see? Look, Cleveland, of course. The goal is to catch Cleveland, man. I ain't sweating Orlando as well. I'm sweating catching Cleveland. Just 2 games out, right? Cleveland continue to lose. Donovan Mitchell is out. Orlando continue to win, man. What a story it would be for Orlando, for them, if they were to get the 3rd seed, right? Their roster is so young as well. But yeah, that lets you know they're coming. They've got depth. They've got talent, right? But look what we're doing short-handed, right? No Mitch, no OG, no Randall. We are clearly the 2nd best team in the East when fully healthy. I think we've proven it. We're only 4 games, 3.5 games back of the Bucks, who haven't really dealt with injuries this season. They've been fully healthy. They're just not as good. They're not as deep. Well, I say that about the injuries. I'm incorrect. Chris Middleton has suffered some injuries, but he is not the same player anymore. Chris Middleton is a shell of himself now, basically, guys. So I think, yeah, we've talked about it. I think, unfortunately, we suffered these injuries. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here. We'd be talking about the Knicks, sealing up the 2nd spot. But we have to fight, man. We have to continue to fight for it, fam. We have to earn our keep. So yeah, in terms of that, let's go through now in the rest of March, and then I'll pull up April. And then let me just click on the games tonight to see if anything was a surprise. We see the Phoenix Suns trying to fight off the Hawks. Look at the Wizards, man. They picked up their 12th win of the season over the Kings, man. The Kings are falling bad, man. We started the route for them. Now the Magic, beat the Pelicans, like I said. Unfortunately, Brandon Ingram suffered what looked to be a serious injury. Hopefully all is well. Prayers up for Brandon Ingram. Would hate to see the Pelican season get derailed like that. Yes, that was what I saw earlier. Unfortunately, the Bucks pulled out the win, but the Nets were up late in that game. And then, the Mavericks pulled out a win. The Rockets beat the Bulls. The Bulls will, they'll barely, creep into the play-in, but they're there, so they're going to be amongst it. Hopefully they can knock out the Heat or something like that. As I said earlier, man, I'm really going to look forward to this play-in. And I don't think we'll be worried. We won't be in the play-in, but it'll be out of, the Heat, the Hawks, Philly, the Bulls, possibly the Pacers. That's going to be very, very interesting, man. The Hawks do have the players to play well on a given night and knock off one of these teams, man. I do expect the Bulls to probably beat the Hawks, and then probably the Heat. I fancy to beat the Sixers, and then we'll see, man. But hey, guys, look, great road trip. We're still just 3 games out of the 2nd seed, 2 games out of the 3rd seed. Let's get these wins now, baby. Let's go through it. So, next up is Brooklyn at MSG, right? So that's a win. That's 1, right? Next game is Detroit at home. That's a win. That's 2 wins right now. Right, 2 wins. And then next Wednesday, we head to the 6, Toronto, fam. They've suffered some injuries as well. I think Scotty Barnes out for the year now. Quickly's been in and out of the lineup. I think he might be done. Regardless, you have to win that. So that's 3, right? That's 3 now in a row, fam. And then the Spurs in Texas, right? Look, Wemby, obviously, we haven't had a close-up look of him yet. They've got some good players. They've got Keldon Johnson. They've got, they've got the Devin Vassell. They've got some guys, Wemby. And what is their record now? The Spurs are dead last, man. 15 wins on the season, right? That has to be a win as well, fam. That is a letdown game if you drop that. So I'm going to say a win. That's 4 in a row now, fam. And then Oklahoma to close the month at home as well. That's going to be a 50-50, right? Oklahoma obviously top of the West. Right, now here we go. 48 wins, 20 losses. Great season they're having. So I'll just say, hypothetically, that's a loss. So, right, so we're sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're sitting on 4 wins. Now let's click over to April. Right, to start the month of April is Miami on the road. Right, Miami, I mean, we should beat them. We should beat Miami. Technically, Mitch would be back by then, of course. Randall even possibly as well. So I've got to say that's our 5th win. Our 5th win of the season. Then we back home, Sacramento, fam. They'll be looking for revenge. Sacramento they'll be fighting. But Sacramento's now, in the 7th spot? Yep, they're vying for that play-in, playoff. They'll be jockeying. So look, they'll be fired up, but at home, momentum with us, we need to win that one as well. So I'm going to say that's our 6th win of the season against Sacramento, right? And then first of a back-to-back, Chicago in the Windy City, right? They're playing okay. 34 wins, 36 losses. They've got, DeRozan. They've got some Nick Killers, but look, it is a back-to-back as well. So I expect us to win, but I'll just say hypothetically, one of the Sacramento or Chicago games will be a loss. One of them will be a win, right? So we're on 6 wins. Milwaukee away. That's a 50-50 game, right? Hypothetically, I'll just say that's a loss. Then the next Chicago game, I'll say is a win as well. So that's 7. That's 7 wins. Boston away, you're probably going to think that that could be an L. And then we close with Brooklyn and Chicago, right? Both of them at home, and both of them are wins, man. So that's 9 wins. That gets us to 50. Fam, 9 wins gets us to 50. And I think we finish at 50. And 50 wins, fam. And 32 losses, right? So that's our 9 more wins and 4 more losses, fam, on the season. Let's go through it again, right? Just so it's clear, right? As we have a super chat now come in from Buzzer Beater. Appreciate you. As always, man, got the streets buzzing. Love the conversations, man. Keep it up. Buzzer says, cheers to you, mate. Appreciate you chopping up with me between streams. We beat Denver in New York when they were in the end of their road trip. They just did the same to us tonight. How ironic. It is, man. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me as well about, that game earlier in the season. It was probably our one of our best, wins. And even tonight just showed how capable we are of beating great teams shorthanded as well. So that's got me really excited about what's to come as well. So yeah, G Money in the building. Once again, thanks for the super chat. Really, really appreciate you. And thanks for all the questions as well. Always happy to answer the questions and to talk hoops, right? So as G Money's in the building, hope you're well, fam. Hope everyone watching as well. Nick Streets are back. We're buzzing. And we're on track for 50 wins. Let's go through it, right? So I'm gonna pull up March once again, guys. This is official. This is what I think is going to play out for the rest of the season, right? Next game is at Brooklyn on Saturday night. I don't think Mitch will return, just because if we're going off what Tibbs said, I think Tibbs is more alluding to the fact that Mitch needs to practice a couple more times. So maybe against Detroit. But Brooklyn is a win. Detroit is a win. The next 2 at MSG. So that's 2. Raptors in Toronto. Could be a trap game. Obviously it's on the road, but they're missing some players as well. And we're the better team, so that's a win. The Spurs against Wemby. One of the last road trips of the regular season. I think the Knicks will want to capitalize. They'll want to beat that team, so that's 4 wins. I'm going to say Oklahoma is probably a loss if we're just going off how they're playing. But obviously I'm not expecting the Knicks to lose. I'm just, doing this hypothetically. Miami, I think that's a win. So that's our 5th win there. And then Sacramento or Chicago, I think we could sweep that back-to-back. But I'll just say that that's 1 out of 2. That's our 6th win. Milwaukee could be a loss. Chicago is going to be a win. And then Boston, Brooklyn, both win as well there, fam. So that's 9 more wins. And 50 wins, baby, for the first time since 2013 when Carmelo Anthony was with the New York Knicks. So going back to the standings now, fam. Knowing the fact that we might win 9 more games, or should win 9 more games, right? That is going to get us. See, the Cavs have got to win 7 more, right? If the Cavs don't win 7 more, then we have the tiebreaker on Cleveland, right? So yeah, we would catch them, right? So the Cavs just have to win 7 or less, right? They got some injuries. Yeah, I think that could definitely get us the 3rd seed, but it would definitely get us 4th. So that's what's important, finishing with home court too. So I think that is the key. 49 is a little dicey for the 3rd seed, but 4th seed, I think 49 wins would be enough. But the Magic, they're coming. right? But 50 wins, I think, definitely gets us fourth, and quite possibly can get us third still, depending on what Cleveland do. So it's all to play for, man. We're getting more healthy. Do I think Mitch will be back? Yeah, within the next four games, I do. So I think he'll get back to the East Coast. He'll practice once or twice, and then I think against Detroit. I think it'll be good to get Mitch's return, against Detroit in limited minutes. Maybe you could get him 15, 20 minutes against Detroit, and then ramp it up for the Raptors and the Spurs game. Maybe he goes against Wemby, in Texas, man. That'll be insane. That'll be a great matchup regardless of seeing, Precious, also Isaiah against Wemby, fam. But Julius Randle, I think Julius Randle will probably return so he's got to obviously take some practice, right? He hasn't been taking full contact practice yet, right? So where we're at is another week or so, another week and a bit for the remaining month, and then into April. I think Juju might be back for that Sacramento game at home. Yep. See, it's a first of a back-to-back, right? So you play Julius at home against Sacramento. Maybe the fact that it's Sabonis does impact their thinking. Sabonis is a very, very physical matchup. I don't want Julius Randle to return against Miami, right? If that is his comeback game. So maybe Julius returns on the second of a back-to-back against the Bulls, right? And then there's obviously Milwaukee after that. So, yeah, some tricky decisions to be made, fam. But you got to make the call. You got to get Randle some regular season reps, well before the playoffs, right? And it's getting close. It really is getting close. Some of these games are going to be tough. Milwaukee, Boston, we're going to be fighting for the third seed. But look, you got to get Randle back. You got to get him in there somewhere, right? His minutes are probably going to be on the restrictions until he gets more comfortable with the shoulder and how it feels. But yeah, OG should be back as well. The good thing is with OG, he can guard the fours. He can guard fives as well, right? And obviously OG with the elbow, whilst there's still some trepidation about how it heals up, how it recovers. I think once the inflammation is down, I think OG will be good to return to normal play, normal minutes. But Julius is, the shoulder is a lot more, tricky versus the elbow. I think, the shoulder was obviously dislocated. He has to be comfortable to bang, stand and bang and do a lot of contact, as well. So yeah, guys, that's the road trip, fam, done and dusted, and it was a successful road trip. So I think the Knicks really did themselves a lot of favors by winning those three, and putting themselves in position to get the third seed still and, climb the East, right? Injury-raveled Cleveland are still there, although Orlando are full strength. It's going to come down to the wire, I think. But we got to take care of these games that we can win. And it starts with the next 4 games, right? Against Brooklyn, the Pistons, the Raptors, the struggling Raptors, and the Spurs, dead last in the West, right? We have to win the next 4. It's important. I think we'll get a little bit of a break, a day between each game. Now's money time, man. Pedal to the metal, and let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. As the Knicks lose tonight, but we're really in a great position to get the seeding that we need. let's hope some results go our way there. But once again, thanks for everyone who joined the stream, everyone watching on Replay Squad, Knicks Nation, we here, and we're getting some guys back, man. I look forward to positive news that Mitch is going to return in the next 4 games or so, and hopefully OG back the same, maybe even the next game, we'll see, right? Hopefully well, we did hear that the elbow starting to feel better the day after they, ruled him out. So positive signs there, man. Orange and blue skies, let's get it on the next one, fam. We'll be live after Brooklyn on Saturday night. The feeling's right. Peace.